Hi guys. I am here live and I'm actually out and about today. So I had to pull over on the side of the road so I could do my live. I didn't want to postpone it or anything like that. Let me find my papers. I did bring them with me. Literally starting right on time today, but that's because I had to drive around just a little bit to get good reception. I'm over in what we call the Valley, Etna, Fort Jones area, and I am absolutely surrounded by the Marble Mountains, and it's just absolutely gorgeous out here and serene. And anywho, so I hope this is broadcasting correctly. Let's see if I put that down. Will it help out with the glare? Ah, yeah, well, a little bit. Can't sit up any higher, so sorry about that. I'll wait a minute or two. I don't see anybody on right now, and I can't, because I'm out of the house, I can't, I don't have my iPad with me, and I can't see if my live is actually live. It says it is. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully everybody can hear me. We'll go from there. Anywho, I'll give a minute or two, see if anybody pops on. That deer crossing the road in front of me. Says I can tag friends, but that's okay. See if I got those cleaned up a little bit so I can read my notes. I'll take a moment just because, and I'll give a quick view of what I've got, the mountain around me. Ignore the cars going by, but we're just absolutely surrounded by beautiful mountains. Great spot to sit. Okay. Anyway, yeah, we're about 4 minutes after 10, and I don't want to take too much time away from anybody, and I don't see anybody coming on, so that's okay. No problem. I'll go ahead and start. Hello, lovelies. All right. So first off, I really don't want to scare anyone here, and I know that we are all responsible pet owners, but life happens, and sometimes it says somebody's on. Yay, hi. Sometimes someone stops by and brings us a special plant, or there's a little one in the house and that doesn't want to eat something that we've made, and of course passes it on to that eager furry that we have at home. So, you know, life happens and we get sidetracked. So I wanted to go over today, I want to go over things that are harmful, if not deadly, to our furries, our cats, our dogs, any other furries that we have. And that would include, you know, chinchillas, rabbits, you know, any domestics or somewhat domesticated, I guess. Ferrets, even. Ferrets are also included in this list. Ferrets, systems, rabbits, chinchillas are just as sensitive as cats. So we need to be careful with that. And then I also want to go over our different reptiles. I have a Russian tortoise, and I have 3 Cuban false chameleons, and I have to be careful what they get. And then I've also got a list for birds. I think in my description I also put fish, but hello, Miss Emily. Nice to see you on here. For fish, it's basically, you know, only give them their fish food. You can give them like frozen fish food, bloodworms, things like that. But You want to be really careful that like fans aren't blowing when you're doing oils or incense, because you don't want that to get over the top of the water because it can become poisonous to them. So fish are kind of the easiest ones. Basically, don't give them anything. We have cichlids, so you can, and we do this. We'll catch like moths that tend to get in the house, and we'll throw it in the tank, and they can eat those. But other than that, you basically just want to give them either dried or frozen fish food. You know, they're not really plant eaters, anything like that. Says that I have Amber and Emily. Nice to see you both on here. So anyway, okay, so I'm going to start off with our furries. My number one, and I've been, you know, just kind of side note, a little bit about me here. I've been in the animal field for 26, 27 years. I was a veterinarian technician for 15 of those years. I'm still in the animal field now. Now I look more for pathology things with my job, mostly livestock, food that you eat, and wild game. But I do still volunteer at our local veterinary offices. And so that's kind of, well, that is my background on this. Anyway, get on with it. So my number one is for our furries is acorns. Your dog, cat, rabbit, chinchilla, ferret, bleh, can experience various gastric and stomach issues, and it can also cause a major abdominal obstruction, internal damage, and even kidney disease. Symptoms for acorns would be abdominal discomfort, diarrhea, and vomiting. Anytime there's a possibility of an obstruction. I had one German Shepherd who, and this was my guy, Crescent, he decided to rip the leather off of a baseball and ate all of the twine inside the leather, and I had to get him to the vet that I was working for at the time, and it got all bound up inside, and it caused a major blockage. So you're going to see, like, they can't even hold down water. If there's an abdominal obstruction, they're going to, nothing can get through, not even water, and they will vomit that back up. So, just, kind of a little tidbit there. And acorns are more, for dogs. Cats and the other critters tend to leave them alone. Rabbits, not so much. They're kind of curious. They want to eat just about anything. But, yeah, acorns are more toxic for dogs when it comes to that. Alcohol. Alcohol is toxic to all animals. I don't care what kind of animal it is. It's extremely toxic. And it can cause major poisoning. Unlike humans, their livers are not made to process alcohol, and they can suffer extremely quickly from alcohol poisoning. We're actually not made to drink alcohol. We just like it, and we're stubborn. Anywho, and it can cause cirrhosis of the liver, major liver damage. We have an acorn tree in our front yard, and my dog chews on them. Just be careful with that. We did have an acorn tree also, and when we had gotten Jax when he was a puppy, my husband was like, nope. So we actually put because my husband likes the acorns, like a fence around it, and that helped. That helped a lot. So. Anyway, for symptoms for alcohol, you can notice things like rapid breathing, increased heart rate, increase in body temperature, vomiting, or abnormal clotting due to alcohol intake. You can even see blood in their stool, and you'll see clotted blood in their stool. if by chance you have a pretty strong drink and one of your critters decides they want to drink at it, there's a possibility that they could need IV treatment, most likely sub-Q IV, or sub-Q fluids, I'm sorry. Sub-Q and IV are not the same thing. To get rehydrated, and very close monitoring to stop or prevent ethanol poisoning. Okay. Next one is almonds. Although almonds are not as toxic as other nuts, they're considered poisonous for dogs and can be very difficult for them to digest due to the presence of the tremorgenic mycotoxins. It can lead to seizures and neurological problems. It can also irritate their stomach and cause blockage. Again, we've got symptoms would be vomiting, diarrhea, restlessness, fever, seizures, and tremors from almonds. Avocado. Avocado is one of those plants that's poisonous to a multitude of critters. It contains a fungal toxin, persin, which can cause serious health issues in animals, even causing death. Even though animals are more resistant to this toxin, avocados are still one of the major toxic foods. If they end up eating too much, it's just not good at all. Banana peels. Not the banana itself, but the banana peel. So, and this one's for dogs. I have yet to find a dog that doesn't like to try to eat the banana peels. I haven't yet to find a dog that doesn't try to get into the trash can when there's a banana peel in there. Oh, no problem, BB. I'm glad to see you on here. They're highly rich in fiber, and that's difficult for dogs to eat. It's difficult for them to digest. Banana peels or any fruit peels, but banana peels more so, are highly toxic. Blue cheese. There's another one. Blue cheese. It's a dairy product. Well, dairy products have generally been proven to be harmful for dogs anyway, but blue cheese in particular is very toxic. Stilton and Roquefort contain a substance called Roquefortine C, and to which dogs are highly vulnerable. If the presence of this chemical can cause gastrointestinal issues as well as neurological problems in dogs. Symptoms would be vomiting, diarrhea, twitching, seizures, and high body blood temperatures. Another one I have is that I put on this list is cat food for dogs. Cat food contains the nutrients that's for dogs, or for cats, not for dogs. The protein and fats in cat food are too high for dogs and are not healthy for them. It can make them not only obese, but can also cause pancreatitis. Any food with an extra amount of meat content is considered toxic for dogs. Here's another one, and I've had a cherry tree, and I've had to be really cautious with this one. I mean, I love having the cherry tree, but got to be careful. So the cherry flesh itself is not poisonous to dogs or cats, but the pits and stems are not only a choking hazard, but they're toxic. It contains cyanide, which can cause poisoning. Like cherries, persimmons, peaches, and plums also have pits that are dangerous and high in cyanide, which is very poisonous. Your most visible and common signs are going to be vomiting and stomach upset. Here's one that I know everybody out there knows, absolutely. Chocolate. We know it's not good for our critters. Chocolate contains a compound called theobromine, which contains xanthine, which can have lasting effects on their nervous system. What helps to increase your oxytocin can be the reason for tremors in their neurological systems. The concentration of the concentration varies among different types of chocolates. Cocoa powder is the most dangerous. White chocolate is the least. Symptoms, if they've gotten into chocolate, can be drooling, vomiting, diarrhea, which might even smell like chocolate, high blood pressure, or even seizures. So let's be careful with that. Okay. So my next one would be coconut flesh and coconut water. So this one's not considered one of the most toxic foods for dogs and cats, but it is still on the list of foods that they should not eat because it can cause gastric problems and abnormal bleeding. Coconut water is too high in potassium to be safe for pets, and some may even be allergic, which would make them more susceptible to conditions after ingesting. Tea and coffee. Though caffeine increases our energy level, it can almost give our critters a heart attack. Caffeine is a powerful stimulant, and it can cause cardiac issues in dogs and cats. And then on top of that, let's not forget about soda. We want to keep them away from soda. It's a caffeine supplement. And it's also very toxic for them. Vomiting, diarrhea, increased heart rate, increased thirst, and restlessness are symptoms for caffeine items. Let's see, corn cobs. I watched my mom give her dog a corn cob, and oh my God, I freaked out. I was like, since when do you do stuff like that? And she was a dog trainer for many years. She knows better, but she said her dog likes it, and I was like, no. So, and this is more of a choking hazard. It's not a toxic item, it's a choking hazard item. So let's just be careful with corn cobs. I know a lot of us know this one, grapes and raisins, right? Grapes are a number one no-no. Not even one little grape, not even one little raisin. Grapes can cause kidney failure and sometimes death. They are extremely, alarmingly toxic food for dogs and cats. And then we have our raisins. They're basically dried grapes, right? It's just horrible how toxic they are. I don't even give grapes to my Russian tortoise. They're just very toxic. Symptoms: vomiting, diarrhea, trouble breathing, dry nose and mouth, and light, like really, really pale gums. Okay. We have our gardens, right? Some of us have gardens, some of us do not. Raw potatoes. I'm going to go over a couple of garden items here. Raw potatoes. And I mean green potato, especially raw potatoes are not good, but especially green tomatoes. I'm sorry, potatoes. Tomatoes are going to come up next. Sorry. Raw potatoes. They contain solanine, which is a glycolate. It's mostly produced in green or raw potatoes, and it's very toxic for your dog. It can cause heart problems and gastrointestinal upset. Raw potato and potato skin is very harmful for dogs and contain, chesonine. I'm going to screw that one up big time. I always do. I don't care how long I've been in the field. I still screw up some of these medical terms. Anyway, it can cause neurological system symptoms and kidney function disorder also. Symptoms for raw potatoes would be vomiting, tremors, heavy breathing, jaundice, fever, dizziness, and loss of sensation. Okay, so my next one is I'm going to, where are you? Since I had already screwed it up, I'm going to jump around a sec. Tomatoes. Since I was on potatoes, I'm going to go into tomatoes real quick. So the tomato itself are not dangerous for dogs or cats. You could give them the tomatoes, but green tomatoes and the plant, the green at the top of the tomatoes, the green tomato itself, and the plant are what's bad. Unripened tomatoes, the leafy tops, and the plant contain a toxic called solanine, and this can cause gastrointestinal stress. Symptoms: lethargic, weakness, confusion, stomach upset, hypersalivation, lack of appetite, severe gastrointestinal upset, depression, weakness, dilated pupils, and a very slow heart rate. Okay, spinach. Spinach is not the best vegetable that you want to feed them. It contains high oxalic acid, which restricts the body, and it stops the body from absorbing calcium. And it's very difficult for them to digest and can lead to kidney damage. Okay, let's see. I'm going to flip back. Hops. My son grows hops in his yard. Hops are lethal. And we do have, there's a growing trend of people home brewing. Hops have definitely come into demand. It's a plant used in the process of brewing beer, and both raw and spent hops are toxic for dogs and cats. It's very lethal, and it can cause malignant hypothermia, and breeds that are more susceptible to hops are greyhounds, Labrador retrievers, St. Bernards, border collies, and Dobermans. Emily says, my one puppy can't have any tomato products, including pizza, because it makes him sick. He probably ends up with a big acidic reaction to it, which that's not really a bad thing. Poor baby, though. I have had Rosie, my girl that we had to have euthanized. She absolutely loved cherry tomatoes, and thank God she wouldn't get them off the vine. She would wait for us to pick it and give it to her. So she was a princess. Everything had to be handed to her. She wasn't a forager herself. So we had to be careful with our tomato plants. Not too much, but she did like them. All right, my next one, I have lemons, limes, and other citruses. Hello, Miss Jackie. Good to see you. They contain a cerealian compound and some aromatic oil, which can cause your critter to fall ill. Without question, citruses are a toxic fruit. Symptoms would be diarrhea, vomiting, and unusual sensitivity to light. Okay, liver. Beef liver, lamb liver. Nobody feeds pork liver. Pork liver is not really a thing, but beef and lamb liver are actually common. It's beef more so. Small amounts are harmless. Okay, little bits at a time. If you want to give your critter liver, okay, but too much of it can be harmful to cats. Eating too much liver can lead to a vitamin A toxicity, which impacts their bone health and can cause death. Symptoms would be things like deformed bones, bone growth, and on the elbows and spine, as well as osteoporosis. My next one, I'm going to run on down for garden items. Onions, chives, and garlic. Toxic to both cats and dogs and our other little furries. They can cause anemia. It can make them extremely weak and tired due to improper oxygen circulation. So symptoms for this would be weakness, lethargic, bad breath, nausea, which can also look like excessive drooling, abdominal pain, vomiting, diarrhea, and sometimes even collapsing. Garlic is the more toxic between garlic, onion, and chive, but they are all in the same family. And it comes from a plant that contains organosulfur compound, which is very toxic to them and can cause them anemia. And then your Shih Tzus and Akitas are actually more susceptible to the toxins in garlic than other dog breeds. Okay, so for this part of this list, I have two more. I know that there's a lot of people out there. I used to do it myself. Not a daily thing, but I used to do it myself. We feed our dogs raw eggs.